Hari Om, everyone. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Hari Om.
Can you see me?
Yes,
Yes, we
ma'am.
can see.
Hari Om.
Good. Okay. Very good. So I'm Swami Yogaratna, and I'm one of the creators of the meditations on Eka Meditation app. And I'm very happy to be with you tonight and eager to get to know you and to tell about what we're doing and help you in any way. So if you've got questions, you could either raise your hand or you could write them on the chat. Everyone can hear me okay? Ah, Sandeep Jain, welcome. I remember you from the previous meetings.
Yeah, namaste.
Nice to see you again. And welcome Govi and welcome Manisha. So while we're waiting a few more, any questions so far? Yes, Govi.
Namaste, ma'am. My name is Govind Sharma, and I joined Eka this year only.
Great.
I'm preparing for civil services exam and
What are you preparing for?
civil services examination.
Good, good.
So this is a prestigious examination in India, and I was quite disturbed last 2 years. So I tried meditation, and it helped me in preparation.
That's great.
So this was a quite unique thing which I got to know, that you can make a resolve in meditation,
Yes,
in Yog Nidra.
yes.
So my question is that, is it right to say that I'll clear this exam while making a resolve? And if it's not, then how should I frame my resolve?
I think it's quite okay, the one that you've got. But I would maybe go for something like, I will reach my full potential and clear the exam.
So,
Something like that, so that all your potential comes up and helps you.
so
I hope that helps. And when you're doing it, visualize yourself either writing the exam or seeing the result of the exam, or maybe a series of things where you see yourself writing the exam and writing it very easily and answering all the questions. And then you see the result and you're smiling and you're happy and everything's good. Because what happens many times, especially when we've got a lot of tensions and worries, we visualize ourselves not getting it. We think, oh, if that happens, what's going to happen? And we spend time visualizing the negative. And so we're actually putting energy into the negative. So it's really important to visualize yourself easily answering the questions and seeing yourself smiling when you see the result, so that you're already putting it into action.
it happens actually. I mean, whenever I say that I'll clear this exam this year with highest marks or something like that, that energy does not come for many a times.
What energy?
I mean, you feel excited about it while making a resolve.
Yeah. So don't worry too much about that, but at least visualize that you are getting there. And you should say it with conviction. If you just say it, I'll clear the exams and I'll get it, nothing will happen. You have to say, yes, I'll do it.
How to bring conviction then?
Well, do you believe that you can clear the exams and get in?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay. So you have to convince yourself that you can, okay? For example, you probably already know that you're intelligent enough to do it, right? Because
Yes, ma'am.
that's why you're sitting for the exams, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also know that a certain percentage of people are going to get in, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So why shouldn't you be in that percentage? Okay. And then you also know that a lot of the times answering the questions is kind of a hit and miss thing. You know, sometimes you know the answers and some people don't know the answers. So it hasn't got it that it's got something to do with intelligence, but it's also got something to do with luck, right? So then you think, okay, why can't I be the lucky one? So if you convince yourself with all these positive things, and then you think, yes, I can do it. You know you can do it now. You know
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
capable. You know that you've got a chance. And so you just keep thinking that while as you say it with conviction and as you see yourself getting in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Great.
you.
Great. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Swamiji, I think we can start with the meditation and the
Okay.
chakras. Yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot, Sudita, and sorry for the problems.
No
Sudita.
problem at all, Swamiji. Go ahead.
Okay, everyone, let's sit comfortably in a meditation asana or in a comfortable seated position with your back and head upright and your eyes gently closed. And notice how you feel at this moment.
Is this a guided meditation?
No, this is just the beginning of the session. Please join us by closing your eyes and noticing how you feel.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll chant Om 3 times together, connecting to the higher consciousness as we chant Om. Take a deep breath in now.
Tumbakar. लाइट बंद नको करू ना इतका कोण रली खाली
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vedvavahe Om Shanti.
ओम
And gently open your eyes and be comfortable. Good. So welcome to the other people who've just joined us. And Amit and Sindhu and Jivitesh, Archana, and if I can find everyone. Good. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about chakras because there's a really fantastic set of practices coming up on our Eka Meditation app to do with chakras, which is using breath work on the chakras. And to get the best out of this series, it's good to understand a little bit about what are chakras and what they do for us. You see, many people think that we are just the body, the physical body. But the physical body is so easy to see and feel. You know that this is the physical body. But there are other levels of our being. For example, the mind. Do you know that you have a mind? You can unmute yourself when you want to answer. Have you got a mind?
Yes, Swami.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how do you know that you have a mind? Can
Yes.
you prove to me that you've got a mind? Can you show me your mind?
No, but we just registered what
Obviously.
we did
No,
and
sir. We can show that, but that is
Can you finish, Ashutosh? You were saying something interesting there.
So we have the cognitive abilities. We have different parts of the brain that are responsible for like speech and language and memory. And there's a prefrontal cortex, which is all about restraint and control and growing up. So those are the physical aspects of what we see is the brain that we collectively call the mind.
Yeah, that's the physical aspects of the brain, okay? But if you cut open brain, will you see mind inside? Will
No,
you see
ma'am.
the thoughts floating around in there?
Something intangible.
Intangible. Intangible, that's the right word, okay? So we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a mind, we know we have a mind, but it's totally invisible and intangible, right? But
Ma'am.
still,
Right.
it convinced you have a mind, right? There's no doubt about it, is there? No, but you can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't measure it, you can't weigh it. So according to physics, it doesn't exist. But we know that it exists now. It's a very real thing, the experience of mind and thinking and thoughts and the senses. So just as you accept that, yes, I do have a mind, you can probably accept that I have other aspects of my body. For example, the energy body, the emotions, the soul or the spirit or the life force. Okay, all these are very subtle parts of our being. Some people believe that we have them, some people don't. But if you believe that you have a mind, then I think you believe you have other things. And I'm going to prove it to you by telling you about a framework that we use to illustrate the different parts of our beings. And this framework is called the Panchakosha. Pancha means five, and kosha means levels, casings, or coverings. And the first level of the Panchakosha is the Annamaya kosha, which is the physical body. Anna means food or rice. And Annamaya kosha is that part of our being that needs food to maintain it. Okay, so that's why it's called the Annamaya kosha, because to maintain your body, you have to eat food. But there is another level, which is the Pranamaya kosha. Prana is life force energy. Now, if you have a dead body on one side and a sleeping body on the other side, basically the two bodies are the same. But the sleeping body can get up, walk out, and do so many things. And the dead body will never be able to do that. Why? Because the dead body doesn't have life force energy. So the difference between the two is life force energy. And that is very easy to see, especially if you've seen a dead body, either a human being or an animal. You'll see that there's a huge difference to a dead body and a living body. And the living body has got life force energy. And we call that prana. Prana is a little bit like electricity. If you have an electric wire and you cut it, will you see the electricity coming out? No. But if you touch a live wire, you'll definitely feel it, won't you? So prana is like that. It's powerful, but it's invisible. And just like energy, the prana supplies energy for all the different parts of our being. For example, if you think of the analogy of electricity, okay, the electrical wires come into your house, and then the wires go, and some of the electricity comes out in the form of a light, some is in the form of a fan, some as a form of a power point to charge your phone, some of it going into the laptop, some of it going into the mixie. So the same electricity is being used for many different purposes. So same with us, the prana or life force energy in our beings, in our bodies, are used for different purposes. And they shine through the chakras. So we're beginning to understand now what a chakra is, okay? So chakra is kind of like a electrical substation. And that energy in each chakra is supplying a different kind of energy. So when we have our Manipur chakra at the navel, that energy is in charge of the digestion. That must be the mixie in the kitchen. And that energy is supplying for the Manipur chakra for digestion, for power. It's the energy storehouse of our being. And for achievement and motivation and power and money. So anyone who's got a lot of power, motivation, then they've got a well-developed Manipur chakra. But the same energy flowing through Anahat chakra, which is the chakra of love and devotion and compassion and the emotions and the heart and the lungs and the blood circulatory system, same energy used in a different way for a different purpose. Just like the same electricity being used for different appliances, same energy shining through the different chakras. Okay? So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Panchakoshas, then we'll come back to the chakras. So Pranamaya Kosha is the energy body, and it includes all the chakras and the nadis, the pathways of energy. It's also the aura or the magnetism. Just like the planet Earth has a field, a magnetic field, which keeps everything stuck on the Earth. We also have a magnetic field. It's the aura. And it has a particular flavor or atmosphere, but it has a magnetism that keeps the mind and other subtle parts of our being with this body. Otherwise, we might wake up one morning in someone else's body, and that never happens. So the prana is like the glue or the magnetism that keeps the mind and all the other subtle levels with this body. And the pranamaya kosha supplies energy through the chakras for doing everything. You see, now I'm speaking. It's prana that enables me to speak and think about what I'm saying. And it's prana that enables you to hear and to process what I'm saying. So prana can be seen in different ways. It's the aura, it's the chakras, it's the energy that we use for everything that we do in life. That's the pranamaya kosha. But then there is a more subtle aspect, which is the manamaya kosha. The manamaya kosha is the mind. It's that part of the mind that takes in information from the outer world through the senses and processes it and reacts and interacts with the external world. It's the conscious, rational, calculating mind. That's the manamaya kosha. But now, when you're listening to me and I'm talking to you, we're operating from the manamaya kosha level. But there is a higher mind, which is called the vijnanamaya kosha. Vijnan means knowledge. So the vijnanamaya kosha is the intuitive mind. It's the higher mind, the wisdom mind, the creative mind, the psychic mind. It's that part of your mind that you get good ideas, good intuitive hunches, creative ideas, that part of your mind that you experience your dreams when you dream at night. And there's an even higher and deeper level, which is called the Ananda Maya Kosha. Anand means bliss. So perhaps when you're blissed out, you're experiencing the Ananda Maya Kosha. And that is the deepest part of our personality. That's the feeling of I-ness, of knowing that you exist. That is the Ananda Maya Kosha. When you reach a total peace of mind, peace with yourself and the world, you're in the Anandamaya Kosha. So these are 5 levels of being, which help us to understand the different levels of our being and help us to understand how meditation works, how yoga works, and how we work in the world. And I think it's really good to be aware of the Panchakoshas at any time during the day, during your life, so that you know, okay, this is my body. I know this is my body. Or yes, now I'm thinking this must be my mind. And now, I'm feeling very energetic. Maybe this is my pranamaya kosha. So if you are aware of the different levels of your being, then you can become more and more sensitive to experience the deepest level. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a short yoga nidra where we experience the different levels of our being and perhaps touch on the chakras too. Are there any questions so far?
Yes, ma'am. Can I ask? Yes, ma'am. I want to know how laws of attraction work actually.
How what?
How laws of attractions work.
Laws of attraction.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the law of attraction is it's a little bit like sankalpa that Govinda was talking about before, but it's also about the prana and the charisma. Okay. Now, if you talk at it from the sankalpa part of view, what's happening is you have a sankalpa. A sankalpa is a short, positive, concise statement encapsulating your life's aspirations. So you keep thinking, I'm going to get through that exam, I'm going to do really well, all my faculties, I'm going to reach my full potential and use them to get through my exam. And you're kind of brainwashing your mind or your brain with good thoughts. And that is affecting your, when you're doing the yoga nidra, you're repeating it and it's going deep while you're in a relaxed state, it's going deep into your fertile subconscious. And each time you repeat it, it grows through the subconscious mind, through the conscious mind, and affects the way you think and react and perceive. And that affects the vibrations around you, and that attracts those things into your life. So this is one aspect of the law of attraction. So it's like when you are positive and happy and you go outside and you think, oh, what a beautiful day it is. But when you're feeling depressed and sad, you go outside and, oh God, another day. Actually, the external exterior hasn't changed at all. But because our mind is in a different framework, we see it in a different framework. It's like, you know, changing the glasses. You could be wearing the rose-tinted glasses, or you could be wearing the dark glasses. So this is another thing, how sankalpa affects the law of attraction. But there is another kind of law of attraction where you're working on your prana. And when your prana is clean and shining, I'm trying to just I've got it now. And then when your prana is strong and clear and working well, then you'll be shining like a light, and then you'll be attracting like-minded people and people who are like you like yourself. So this is another aspect of the law of attraction, where you're working on the pranamaya kosha. Sankalpa is working on the manamaya kosha, but the other kind is working on the pranamaya kosha. Does that answer your question, Ashutosh?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So the trick is to be positive, to do pranayam and to purify yourself and get yourself fit and healthy. And then you'll be having a wonderful law of attraction that attracts the people. But you know, a much deeper way of attracting people is to be loving and to be the kind of person that you'd like to meet. Okay? So if you try and be the person that you'd like to meet, then you'll be so good that people will automatically feel attracted to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for the question. Any other questions, or shall we proceed? And I'll tell you a little bit more about chakras. Yes, Govind.
Ma'am, I am actually on a scholarship here right now in Arya Samaj.
Lucky.
So they tell me that you should wake up at 4 o'clock every day in the morning, and that will help you in studies and all. So is it important, I mean, to wake up at 4 o'clock, or, I mean?
This is a difficult question because if you are living in an institution and there are rules that you should follow and you're not following them, then it's a little difficult to survive in the institution. But on the other hand, if you've got a bioenergy where you can't study in the morning, but you're very good at studying late at night, then it's good to follow your biorhythms and study when you can study and not force yourself to do something that is not going to help you. So it's kind of difficult, you know, if they say you've got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I think you should give it a go. And it might be difficult at first, especially if you are a late owl like I am. And, you know, you find it difficult to wake up, but you've got to do it because you're living in Arya Samaj. But you know something? Before I came to ashram, I used to wake up every morning at 11 o'clock. And then suddenly I had to wake up at 4:30. And now I got used to it. Now I can get up at 4:30, no problem. And I still go to sleep late. So I know you can do it because I've done it myself. So give it a go. And give it a go. You might find that it's really good. And if you're feeling sleepy in the morning, you won't believe this, but if you're feeling sleepy in the morning, have a cold shower and a cup of coffee, and you'll be so happy. You'll feel so great. You'll be able to study easily. And you know something? When you have a cold shower early in the morning, it doesn't feel cold because the atmosphere outside is colder than the water, so it feels a little warm. If you have the same cold shower at 10 in the morning when the atmosphere is warmer, it feels very cold. So just try it. I'm sure you'll be okay.
I'll try tomorrow.
Yeah. Try for a few days. It takes a few days to get used to it. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think
So
we're
we have, I have a question.
yeah.
We have Sadhguru here in India, and he says that the time between 3 a.m. in the morning and 3:40 in the morning, something happens. You know, that's like you somehow realize your full potential at some point in between that time, and that's true for everybody. Do you have any opinions on that?
Yes, yes. This is the Brahma Muhurtam. And it's true because at that time there's so much peace and calm, and there's a changeover between night and day. And so this is a very precious time to do your sadhana, because when you do your sadhana at this time, it will have a much deeper effect. And you can do, because it has a deeper effect, you get much more value and benefit from your doing your sadhana at that time. And if you've ever woken up at that time of the day, you find that the atmosphere is just magical. It's so peaceful and calm. It's really magical. So there again, it's the same answer as Govind. Give it a go. It's worth it. Any other questions?
Swamiji,
Yes.
could you please throw a little more light on Annamaya Kosha? Because I was not able to relate this kosha with the other four.
The Annamaya Kosha, you mean the physical body or the Anandamaya Kosha?
Annamaya Kosha, the physical body.
Yeah. So, well, for me, I think it's very simple, because the Annamaya Kosha is like the vehicle of all the other koshas, okay? And each kosha is kind of like getting more and more subtle. So ultimately, everything is energy, okay? But the energy is kind of condensed and compressed, so that when the energy gets more and more compressed, it gets more and more solid. So our physical body is kind of like a solid energy. And then the pranamaya kosha is more like a higher vibration, and then higher, more subtle and more subtle. But I love to use the analogy of a car or a vehicle. If you think of a car or a vehicle, the actual body of the car or vehicle is like our physical body, okay? But you can have a perfectly good vehicle, but if you don't have petrol in it, you can't make it go, right? So the petrol is kind of like the prana. You need prana to make the body go. But you can have a petrol in your vehicle and still it can't go unless you got a driver, right? So the driver is the consciousness of the spirit or the soul, which is going to get on the vehicle and make it go. So this is a really good analogy to see how it works. There was a really nice satsang given by Swami Sarvadayananda, I think his name is. He gives some fantastic satsangs, and he tells about the Panchakoshas, and he gives the analogy of moving your arm. So the Annamaya Kosha is the arm moving, and then the nerves that make it go are the Manamaya Kosha, and the decision to make it move is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and the energy to make it move is the Pranamaya Kosha. So this is a very good description of how they're all part and parcel of each other. You can't separate them. A little bit like a cup of tea. Before you make the tea, you've got the tea, the sugar, the milk, and the water. They're separate. Once you mix them, you can't separate them again, even though you can taste the milkiness of the milk, the sweetness of the sugar, the flavor of the tea, and the temperature of the water. So you can feel and experience the different aspects, but you can't separate them. So it's the same. We know this is body, it's hard, it's solid, and this is what we recognize in people when we see them. And this is mind, totally invisible, but I know what it feels like because it's very powerful. And this is energy body. Sometimes I feel energetic and sometimes I feel dull and lethargic. So in this way, you can experience, even though you can't separate them, except at the time of death. When we die, then the different koshas go back, the elements go back and get absorbed into their various elements. I hope that answered your question, Sindhu.
Crystal clear. Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji.
Good. Good. So any other questions? Good. So let me tell you a little bit more about the chakras and about this fantastic practice called Chakra Shuddhi. Does anyone know what Shuddhi means?
Cleansing.
Yes.
Purification.
Yes, that's right. Cleansing or purification. So what we do in Chakra Shuddhi is we cleanse and purify our chakras. And how do we do that? Well, the chakras are located in different parts of the body. We've got the chakra down at the bottom at the base, at the perineum. This is the chakra of survival and security. We've got the next one, which is Shwadasana in the lower back or pubic region. This is the chakra of sexuality, of enjoyment, of sensuality. We've got the chakra at navel, which is Manipur. This is the chakra of the powerhouse of energy and the digestion and motivation. And then we've got the chakra at the heart center, which is the Anahat chakra. This is the chakra of relationships and love and devotion, the heart and the lungs and the blood circulatory system. And then we've got the chakra at Vishuddhi, the throat, which is the chakra of expression, connecting, communicating, and purification. And we've got the chakra of the third eye, which is all the mental faculties, psychic faculties, and the brain and the thinking power. And it's also the switchboard and fuse box of all the other chakras. And then we've got Sahasrara, which is the outside of the individual being. And this is the chakra of enlightenment, where we merge with the cosmic consciousness. So just in a nutshell, that's a little bit about the chakras. And the chakras, as I said before, are energy. So you can't see them, just like you can't see electricity. You're not going to be able to see your chakras, but sometimes you can feel them. For example, when you feel when you love someone very much, when you fall in love, your heart just melts. You know, and you see pictures of Hanuman with his heart open, or Jesus with the love shining out of his heart. So this is the Anahat chakra. And when you're in love with someone, you love someone very much, even if you're a mother loving your child or a child loving your parents, you can feel warm and melting in your heart chakra. Okay, so this is the Anahat chakra. And then in the stomach, this is the chakra of power and digestion. When you feel angry, you can feel it in your Manipur chakra usually. And sometimes when you feel very creative and expressive and you want to sing, you feel it in your throat chakra. So to a certain extent, you can feel the chakras on the subtle level, but most of us can't, okay? But the chakras are not physical, they're on the energy level. If you took a photograph, and you can nowadays with Kirlian photography, you'd be able to see the chakras there, very much like a picture of the central nervous system, you know, with bunches of energy at the different plexuses and streams of energy flowing out, which are called the nadis or pathways of energy. And because the chakras are whirlpools of energy or vortexes of energy, to be able to cleanse them, we have to use energy. Because you know, if you're cleaning something outside in the environment around you or on your body, you can't do it with energy. You have to do it with a cloth or something that's physical, because you're cleaning something physical. But when you're doing it with the chakras, you use energy. And energy, as I said before, or prana, is totally invisible. But it moves, and it moves with our mind, and it moves with our breath. So in Chakra Shuddhi, we use the breath as a tool to cleanse, balance, and activate our chakras. And what we do is we feel that we're breathing in. For example, say Vishuddhi chakra or Agni chakra, okay? Take Agni chakra, for example. We imagine that we're breathing in through here, to going through the center of the head to the back of the head and out again through here. And this, because we are using our willpower, imagination, and breath, we're actually moving the prana through this part. It's not going through the bone and the skin. It's going through the energy that you can't see. but maybe you can feel. And when you do that, sometimes you can actually feel a sensation there, and you know that, this is happening. Sometimes you can't feel the sensation, but we imagine that we're breathing in through here to the back of the head and out again. And by focusing all our attention on the breath and feeling that we're breathing in and out and focusing on this point, it actually moves the energy. And when the energy moves, then it clears the blockages and it opens up that pathway so that the energy can move better and be cleaned. A little bit like, I like to use the analogy of, supposing you've got a drain that's completely blocked and you have to clear it, and you've got a bucket of water and you're going to clear it with a bucket of water. If you pull the water drop by drop very, very slowly, the drain is not going to clear, right? But if you take the bucket and you just pour the whole bucket at once and it goes whoosh, then it clears everything out of the drain, okay? So this is what we're doing with our energy. We're moving our energy with our willpower, our visualization, and our breath through the chakras, and that movement of energy is removing the blockages and the stale energy and activating, balancing, and cleansing. So when you're doing this practice, if you visualize it like that, and I do give I do describe this visualization in this way, then you'll be able to clear your energies. And when you're able to cleanse, balance, and activate your chakras, then those aspects of your being will become more active, and the energy will be available for all the different parts. Because if you've got a blockage here and you clear it, then that congested energy is going to be available for the other chakras as well. So it's not just that you do chakra by chakra and then the other ones get left out. You do all the chakras one by one, and then all the chakras will be working better, and then you'll have a more shining aura, and your attraction will be more, and you'll feel that you've got more energy to do your thinking or whatever you want to do. And the other thing about this practice, which I really like, is because you're so busy feeling and counting and breathing, your mind is fully engaged. And so there's much less chance for the mind to go wandering away and thinking of other things. So it's a really good way to develop concentration and focus, and to help us to develop, focus and concentration in our work, but also really good for relaxation and releasing stress, because stress is congested energy. And if you, stress is like a spring. If you push a spring down, it takes a lot of energy to keep it down. But if you release it, then there's no energy at all. There's no pressure at all. So therefore, if you feel that you're breathing in and out through your chakras, you're releasing that blocked energy, and you're releasing the stresses and tensions and anxieties, and then you feel so much more relaxed. The energy is moving, you've got the energy to do things, you don't feel stuck. I hope I'm clear. And I hope I'm not talking too fast. So, any other questions? Okay, Govind, he's got a lot of questions. Yes, Govind.
Sorry for that, ma'am, but do we need to do all these chakras meditation in a sequence, or
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can do anything? I mean, like
It's better
Vishuddhi
to
one.
do it in a sequence, because if you've got a house with 7 rooms, and if you only clean one room, the other rooms are going to remain dirty. So it's better to clean the whole house. Okay. But we start by cleaning the entrance so that you can get in and out of the house easily. And the entrance is the Agnya Chakra. So we start with the Agnya Chakra, then we go to Muladhara, and then we go to Shwadhisthana at the low pubic region, then we go to Muladhara at the navel, then we go to Anahata at the chest, then Vishuddhi at the throat, back to Agnya, and then up to Sahasrara. And then in the more advanced ones, you're doing all of them, a few breaths at all of them and through all of them. It's really nice. Any other questions? Yes, Sindhu?
Swamiji, for Vishuddhi Chakra, while you were discussing, I think I heard purification as well, but I could not relate that point. I'm not sure if I heard it wrong.
Yes, no, you heard it correctly. The name of the chakra, Vishuddhi. Vish means poison, and Shuddhi means purification. So Vishuddhi is the chakra where you can purify the toxins and poisons in your being, in, in your body-mind complex, in your life. But it's also the chakra of nectar. And if you see the visual picture of the chakra, it's a 16-petal purple lotus with a drop of golden nectar in the middle. So Vishuddhi is the chakra where you can balance the good and bad things in life, where you can take in the good and bad without being affected overly. And so it purifies the toxins, but it also enables you to take in the nectars. So that's why it's called Vishuddhi chakra. And a very nice story, if I could take a few more moments, about Vishuddhi chakra is, you heard of one of the names of Lord Shiva, Nilkant, and that is because when they churned the oceans and the pot of poison came out and no one wanted it, they thought, what am I going to do with this poison? They ran around wondering what to do. And Shiva said, give it to me, I can handle it. So he took it and he swallowed it. And because his Vishuddhi was open and active, he was able to hold the poison in his throat and it didn't affect him. And that's why his throat became blue and he became known as Nilkant. Good. So, any other? Neelama, have you got a question?
Hello.
Running away. Okay, yes. Who's saying hello?
Yes,
Ma'am,
oh,
ma'am, is there any specific meditation to remember everything what we have studied?
The Ajna chakra is very good for improving memory and mental faculties, but I'll tell you one secret that most people don't know. If you do a lot of mental work and mental study and nothing for the physical plane, it's going to be very difficult because your mind will get tired and your body will be restless. But if you balance it and you do physical activities, it's part of your daily routine and in between your studies, then the physical activities, especially Surya Namaskar, will get all the energies and the pranas going and circulate the blood so your brain is fresh. Then it'll be very easy to do your studies and to remember everything. So it's really, 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 really important to do physical and mental. If you want to be able to have a good mind and do your mental studies, you should balance it by doing physical as well, so that you've got fresh blood to your brain, so that you've got fresh prana for your studies, and so that you don't tax your brain too much because it needs a bit of a break now and then. Yoga Nidra is also a really good way to relax your mind, especially if you've got lots of tensions or if you're studying a lot and you need a bit of a break. Govind already knows that because Sankalpa is there in it. And it's also very good for developing memory and focus and concentration. So if you do Surya Namaskar and Yoga Nidra and then breathing through your Agni Chakra, wow, you'll be able to do anything. Does that answer your question? Neelama, you had one?
yes, Swamiji, I actually wanted to ask, do we do the chakra meditation every day? How often do we do it?
It's good to do it every day for several reasons. One is if you do your practice every day, you get into routine. And then when that time comes along, you feel in the mood. And then it's very easy to do it. If you do it some days when you feel like it, and other days when you don't, or when you're busy or whatever, you forget to do it, you lose the train of what you're doing, and you don't get so much benefit. But it's just like eating or bathing or changing your clothes. You get a routine, and once you get into the routine, it's very easy to do it. So that's one reason. The other reason is if you do a little bit every day, then the benefit will be much more. It's like, if you can say, okay, I'm going to eat all my food on Monday, and then the rest of the days I'm not going to bother to eat. It doesn't quite work like that. So same thing with sadhana and practices. If you do a little bit each day, you get much more benefit and you get into a routine. And that's why it's better to do it. If you, for example, go for a retreat and you do so much beautiful work on Saturday and Sunday on chakras, and then when you get back, you haven't got time to do anything, it doesn't really matter, because the experience that you had during the retreat gave you a different level of consciousness. And there's some work and purification that happened during the retreat which will stay with you. So it's not lost totally, but you're just not taking full advantage of it. Still getting benefit, and you will be, having a different consciousness and awareness afterwards. But it's not as good as keeping on the practice.
Right. Okay, I understand. So can we do it along with, let's say, the other meditation we do, the pranayamas, the meditations? What should be the series, the sequence of doing this?
Yeah, this is a very good question. If you don't have much time, what you can do is you can do a little meditation in the morning, and you can do a little pranayam after work, and then yoga nidra before you go to sleep at night. So you can space it out like that, and you have to experiment and see what works for you. If I do yoga nidra at night, I won't be able to do it. I'll just crash. If I do yoga nidra in the afternoon, it's very good. I feel very fresh. And I love to do my japa meditation in the morning when the mind is quiet and the calm atmosphere is calm. And then pranayam in the evening when, I'm too tired to do anything, but if I do pranayam, it kind of, gets the energy is balanced and I feel good and restful. So you have to experiment and see what works well for you. But according to the scriptures, first asana, then pranayam, then meditation. And according to practical things, early in the morning, a lot of people find do meditation when your mind is still calm after sleep, then pranayam to get it active again, then asanas, because by that time your body's fed up with sitting and it wants to start moving and you're getting ready for the day and you're activating it. So experiment a little.
Okay, thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji?
Yes.
So on Eka app, we have chakra breathing based on Yoga Nidra, right? Like in Yoga Nidra. Should that be done in the same order, or like I've completed all of those series and now and then like I do it in a like a different order. So is that fine, or should we follow it again in the same order?
No, it's okay. Once you've done all of them, you can follow in any order depending on what you like. So maybe there was a particular yoga nidra that you like and you like to redo it. That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, the chakra.
Also, Rupa, we've launched the Chakra Shuddhi series.
Sorry?
We've also launched the Chakra Shuddhi series. If you
Yes. Yeah, if you're wanting to get more into the chakras, you can move on from the yoga nidra and start doing the chakra series, which are going to be released any day now. I think in a week, is it?
I think it's
Chakra Shuddhi is already there. The Nada Shuddhi will be next week, Swamiji.
Oh, right. Okay. So Chakra Shuddhi is already there. If you haven't experienced it, it's really good. And Nada Chakra Shuddhi, that's even better because you use sound. And I've been really enjoying making them for you. And you can use sound to activate your chakras, and it strengthens your voice, and it works really well for therapy of the whole being. It's very soothing and calming for the mind. For Ashutosh, it's really good for developing concentration and focus. And yeah, that's really great. I love it.
okay. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Rupa. So how are we going for time? I can't see.
We have about 4 minutes left, Swamiji. We're almost at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want me to talk about, Sudipta, or any other questions?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what roles do gemstones play in improving your chakras?
Yeah. I don't know much about gemstones, but I know that they work because the gemstones have a particular vibration, and they have a much more concentrated vibration than other material matter around. And it's a very focused and concentrated, clear vibration. So someone who knows about gemstones would be able to recommend which ones for which chakras and all that sort of thing. But they do have an effect, especially if you believe it, because mind is so powerful. If I believe gemstones don't work, they won't. But if you believe gemstones do work, they will. So it's the power of the mind as well as the actual gemstones. And especially with the planets, you know, depending on what planets are affecting you, the gemstones will either help or prevent the malefic effects of some of the planets. So you can use that. But, you know, you shouldn't go overboard. You know, some people, they have gemstones on every single finger, and you think, well, is it really working or not? Maybe, maybe not. I think you have to kind of choose, you know, one or two and really believe in it, and then it has a very powerful effect. And there are meditations where they put stones and gemstones on your chakras, and that has an effect on your chakra. Chakra Shuddhi does the same thing. So you can do it with your breath and with the sound also, with Nada Chakra Shuddhi. So I highly recommend you start these, and they're really good both for concentration, for relaxation, for therapy, for spiritual purposes, for studying. Because you're working on the chakras, and chakras cover all aspects of life, therefore they're really good, and you feel great after doing it. So let's finish off. Sit comfortably in your meditation asana. Check that your spine and head are upright. Eyes gently closed. Notice how you feel after our little talk. And bring your awareness to the chest center, the Anahata chakra, the center of divine love, devotion, and compassion. And imagine that your nose is down there at your chest center, and that you're breathing in and out through the chest center. Unlocking your love and letting in the love that other people have for us. Each breath making you more compassionate. And keeping your attention at the Anahata chakra, we'll chant Om 3 times from that point, sending love and thanks to the world around. Take a deep breath in now. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Finish off with palming. Rub the palms together until they're hot. Cup the center of your palms over your closed eyes. And draw in the energy or the prana generated from the palms into your eyes and brain to energize them and refresh them. And then gently open your eyes with a big smile on your face. And I'm the lucky one to get that smile. But keep that smile and give it to the next person you see. And if you're not going to see anyone else this evening, then go to the mirror and give yourself that smile. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you very much for Eka Meditation, Priyanka and Sudipta for organizing this. And look forward to many more. And enjoy your Chakra Shuddhi and Nada Chakra Shuddhi series.